Okay. Now that's the thing. Like, what's going to be the real test of what kind of... Now, I agree with them, and I'm glad they did do this. The 5 megapixel versus the... Because it's... the term megapixel has basically become unusable. You can't look at the megapixel of something and really have any idea what kind of quality you're going to get out of it, because everybody's been distorting. They've been shrinking. It sounds like, oh, I have my 8 megapixels. I have my 20 megapixels. I have my... I'm like, you know what? Just stick to the original standard rather than trying to make the number bigger, so the number actually tells me what kind of quality picture it takes.
Right.
Because I've had some 1.3 megapixel sensors that take better quality than 8 megapixel because of the way it counts the pixels and others. It's just...
Right. I have an older Kodak 3 megapixel digital camera that takes beautiful photos. Beautiful photos. So I would agree with you. I don't think that just increasing the number of pixels that it captures, I don't think that helps consumers at all. I'd say consumers would be better.
Well, let's say originally it was designed to get to trick the consumer into buying something that wasn't as good, but then it became the one-upsmanship score. It's like, I have 6, I have 7, I have 8, and as a result, and the way they were one-upsmanshiping each other was exactly like Steve Jobs was saying when he was giving that keynotes. Like, they're changing the ratios and everything else. They're cheating, and as a result, the number means jack squat now. It's... You don't give a crap how many megapixels the camera has anymore. You're looking at where its white filters are, what the actual pixel ratios are, and everything else. The whole idea behind megapixel was, this is a number my grandmother can understand. And then they turned it into a number nobody can understand by trying to take advantage of all the grandmas of the world.
Right. I think initially the increase in megapixels, especially with digital cameras, it resulted in just better quality hardware overall, because you knew that if you had a 3 megapixel and now this new 7 megapixel camera come out, of course it's going to have better everything. It's just going to be a better camera overall. But like you said, it's went to the one-upsmanship where all they're doing basically is just cramming more sensors in there, and I'm capturing more pixels, more crappy pixels. So, but it's a bigger number. It's more megapixels, so it's going to be better, right? I just think the consumer, it's more beneficial to the consumer to put a better sensor in there, keep it at 5, 4, 5, whatever megapixels, and better glass or better lens. So.
Yeah, well, no, and as a result of all those distortions going on, it's for a while there, like back in the 2 to 5 megapixel days, the average consumer could walk down the camera aisle and at least half understand what they were getting.
Right.
Now they walk down the camera aisle and they see a 5 megapixel camera that's $1,500 and a 10 megapixel camera that's $79, and they're completely confused. They're like, what? But 10's bigger, twice as big as 5. I don't get it. That's like, sorry, I don't like taking advantage of the end consumer. I think the whole reason we come up with standards and specs is so the end consumer can make heads or tails of them, not to confuse the bejesus out of them. You have to be an AV person now to understand the camera aisle.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, what do you think about the fact that iMovie's extra?
It doesn't surprise me from looking at what I saw at the keynote, what I see on Apple's website. They put quite a bit of work into this thing. Now, how much of that they just ported over from code they've already had for OS X, I'm not sure. But they put a considerable amount of work into it. So I'm not surprised that they're not just going to give this this thing away.
And it is only $5. I mean, it's not like it's give us another $100 or something.
But there again, though, I think $5, that's kind of high for the average.
Oh, that's expensive for an App Store app. That really is. The other thing is, like,
average cost of an iPhone app is like $1.20, $1.29, I think, is the average cost. So.
Yeah, and a lot of them are less than that. So, what I'm going to be really interested to see is what the render times are like in these, because I don't know if the demonstration they gave at the Apple keynote is indicative of the type of render time you should expect. I mean, you can trick stuff up where if you're doing it in the right format and everything else, and I'm assuming these are some version of QuickTime movies or other things, where you can edit by just changing the index file. Where you can instantly change the order of frames by just changing the indexing of the file. And then there's other times that you have to actually go back and render a little bit on each frame.
Right.
Which takes a good amount of processing power and everything else. And I mean, a gigahertz chip can do it, but it doesn't do it quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, editing and rendering 720, 30 frames per second video on a 1 gigahertz chip is painful at best. I mean, that's painful. So I just have to wonder how well the iPhone's going to be able to do that.
Well, no, and like it all depends how they set it up. If they're using a completely proprietary streaming format that they've tricked up, where the way it's editing and splicing stuff, because here's the thing, this version of iMovie is completely incompatible with anything else. You can't even take these files over to a Mac. You can't get them out. The only way to get them out of the iPhone is to publish them somewhere. So it makes me...
Aren't they published in H.264? Is that the codec they're using?
I don't know on that. Apple didn't say, and I haven't been able to find yet. And the other thing I'm going to wonder, like, say you want to publish this to YouTube, is like you're limited on how long a YouTube video can be published from the mobile device. I don't know if you've ever tried to do this, but like it's capped. It's allowed to be, I think, like 30 or 60 seconds. It can't be a full-length video. It can't be like a 10-minute video. They won't let it be. And like that is an Apple. That's the same on Android. That's a YouTube imposement. And I'm just wondering if the way they aren't getting around the processing limitations so that this doesn't take a day and a half to render is doing some type of quick proprietary format. But then I'm like, if it's a little quick format like that, how do I get it off? Like, how do I make this... Where can I really use these videos? Can they only be used on iPhones and iPads? Can I upload a video of any length to YouTube? I think there was talk about putting them on Facebook, but you know, then that's another closed box system. I mean, even if it is truly a 720p video, it's not like I took a 720p video with my camcorder and can send it to Grandma. I can't even send it to Grandma's Mac, let alone her PC. That's
right.
I mean, I see journalists using this.
I think it's perfect for that, to do interviews and short videos on the fly, edit them, get them to the editors.
Well, let's say it's again, can you get it to the editor to splice into the feed? Or can you just blog it? It's like, that's the thing. Where can you send these videos? Because as far as I can tell, they largely live in the iPhone world.
But didn't they mention the fact that you'll be able to upload these to YouTube?
But the full length, or do the length limitations apply? We're up on time for a second. Hold on.